Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that's honestly so important for making our apps work for everyone. We're talking about giving your app a voice, especially for users who depend on VoiceOver. So, let me ask you something. Is your app silent? I mean, really think about it. Put yourself in your user's shoes for a second. You tap a button, a list updates, maybe a little message pops up, but you can't see any of it. If your app just stays quiet, how on earth would you know what just happened? For a whole lot of users, that silence isn't golden. It's just confusing. And you know what? That's the exact problem we're tackling today. When your UI changes on the fly, a loading spinner goes away, a list gets filtered, a success message appears, a sighted user gets it in a split second. But for someone using VoiceOver, if that change isn't announced out loud, it's like it never even happened. They're just left hanging, wondering, did that button do anything? What am I supposed to do now? Did the app just crash?
So how do we fix this? How do we break that silence? Well, the answer is an incredibly powerful but surprisingly simple feature in iOS called accessibility notifications. This is the way we can actually program our app to speak up and talk directly to the users who need that feedback the most. And the idea behind it is it's really elegant. Think of an accessibility notification as a direct hotline from your app straight to VoiceOver. It's basically you, the developer, picking up the phone and saying, hey, VoiceOver, listen up. Something important just changed on the screen, and you need to tell the user about it right now. And how do you use this special hotline? Get this. It's with one simple line of code, uiaccessibility.post. That's it. This one little function is the key that unlocks this entire world of communication. Seriously, it's a tiny bit of code, but the impact it can have on your user's experience, it's absolutely huge. Okay, so let's think of this as your special accessibility toolkit. It's what you'll use to bring clarity to your app. And inside this toolkit, you've got 3 essential tools, 3 different types of notifications, and each one has a very specific job. So let's open up the box and take a look at what we've got. All right, here's the 30,000-foot view of our toolkit. We've got 3 main players. First up is .announcement. Its job is simple. Just say something out loud. Then you have .screenChanged, which is for those big moments, like when you move to a whole new screen. And last but not least, layoutChanged. This one's for when things just kind of shift around on the screen you're already on. Let's break each of these down. Okay, let's start with announcement. This one is your go-to for just giving information. A user does something and you need to give them that crucial feedback. Hey, that worked, or oops, something went wrong. The cool thing about this one is that it does its job without stealing the user's focus. So they stay exactly where they are, but they get to hear that important update. No interruptions. So picture this. A user taps the submit button on a form. Instead of just silence, VoiceOver chimes in and says, your request was sent successfully. Boom, that's it. It's simple, it's effective, and it gives the user instant peace of mind. They know it worked. That's the magic of a simple announcement. All right, tool number 2, .screenChanged. Now this one is for the big moves, when you navigate to a totally different screen. As soon as you post this notification, it's like a helpful guide that immediately moves the VoiceOver cursor to the most logical starting point, which is usually the screen's title. This instantly orients the user. They immediately hear something like settings, and they know exactly where they are. Okay, now for what might be my personal favorite, layoutChanged. Just look at this before and after. It says it all. In the before world, a user applies a filter. The list on the screen updates, but their VoiceOver focus is just stranded. It's still back on the filter button they just tapped. They're totally lost. But in the after world, we use .layoutChanged, and like magic, it zips their focus right down to the very first item in the new filtered list. Just like that, confusion is gone, everything makes sense again. Okay, so we've seen the tools in our toolkit. But, having the tools is one thing, knowing exactly when to pull each one out is the real art. So let's run through a quick playbook of common situations you'll run into. So here's your quick cheat sheet. Is your UI updating, but you're not changing screens? You probably need a notification. Do you need to give some really important feedback like success or error? That's a job for .announcement. And what if a whole new section of content just appeared on the screen? Yep, that's when you use .layoutChanged to guide their focus right to it. These are the perfect moments to let your app speak up. So we have covered the what and the when. Let's finish up by talking about the why. Because it's really easy to look at this stuff and think it's just a small detail. But trust me, getting these notifications right has a huge impact.
For your users, the difference is night and day. You're taking away confusion, you're adding clarity, you're creating an experience that's just smoother and way less frustrating. You're the one who can turn an app that feels like a struggle into one that feels helpful and like someone actually cared when they built it. And what about for you, the developer? Well, besides just building way better apps, knowing this stuff shows that you have a real commitment to quality. It shows that you think about every single one of your users. And let's be real, this is an amazing topic to bring up in an iOS interview. It can seriously make you stand out from the crowd.
So I'm going to leave you with one final question to think about. The next time you open your app, ask yourself, what is it really saying to your users? When someone using VoiceOver interacts with it, do they just hear silence? Do they feel confused? Or do they hear a clear, helpful voice that guides them? The choice and the code to make it happen is all yours. Thanks for joining me.